When it comes to 2022, one category I didn't put in my award show was the best music videos, and this was for a reason, because there are just really too many good ones to count and to crown. I already talked about one music video I really like on this channel, that being Afterlike by IVE, and the use of practical effects in that music video to make it overall better, and I talked about that in length in that video, which I'll leave in the description. But if it's one thing that I've learned growing up throughout college and just in general, is that I not only really love storytelling, but I really love storytelling through cinematography. This has allowed me to appreciate music videos and K-pop a lot more in what goes into developing them, but the storylines behind them. The only problem with this is that I don't really care too much about lore of a lot of groups. Even my old group Dreamcatcher, I'm not really invested in the lore of the group because I simply just don't really care all that much. Which I know is somewhat conflicting with what I just said, but the lore with K-pop groups most of the time is very surface level and not very deep. A lot of the lore that goes into these K-pop groups is very surface level and on the sleeve. It's not very deep when it comes to the themings or the meanings behind a lot of the members and their involvement. The only lore that really ever got me hooked was BTS's lore, with a lot of their earlier music was really deep. That eventually got too convoluted that I didn't really care about it anymore. So with a lot of these K-pop music videos, I've tended to look at the cinematography more and judge the storytelling based off of that. And there have been some great music videos this year because of that. Music videos like Hot by 17, which is visually stunning. I really like both RM's music videos, which I do plan on talking about eventually. But the one that just dropped yesterday was Ditto. And it has two music videos, side A and side B, which both tell the same story in a little different ways. I do want to look at the themings and the storytelling behind these music videos, but before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the actual cinematography and the song itself, because both of those things play a big factor in the storytelling of the song and why it's so effective. First of all is the song. Ditto is a great song. It's not my favorite NewJeans song, but I honestly would not be afraid to say that I like parts of it more than Attention and Hype Boy. I think it does something differently than those songs do. And that's why I don't really like to rank NewJeans songs, because each one of them does something a little different and fills a specific niche, right? Attention is more of a Y2K nostalgic sound. Hype Boy is more, pop neutro influence to it while playing off a little bit of nostalgia. But Ditto is completely different. It's a completely different melancholy vibe to it. It's deeper, it's more somber. It is driven by a very simple snare up-tempo beat, but it's very smooth in the way it delivers. It's one singular synth that drives a lot of the pre-chorus and chorus. Instrumentally, it is way stripped back compared to a lot of the other songs they've had, and it works, especially for this music video. I think this is definitely something that was beneficial for them to reach out and experiment with. Then there were some of the cinematography elements and angles that they used to overall improve the quality of the storytelling, and those are things like harsher angles, more sharper cuts. There isn't a lot of overproduction in the transitions of this music video. There's a lot of soft shots they use, a lot of gradients that make the surroundings feel a lot smoother and almost more supple in a way, and the way they use lighting as well to both obscure but also highlight the members in certain shots is really telling narratively for what they're trying to go for. Like in one shot, the members are dancing in a gym and the light is shining on them, it is highlighting them, but in another shot, the sunlight that is shining through the windows is almost obscuring the members and doing a complete juxtaposition for what it's doing before. And it's doing that because narratively wise, in both of those scenes, the members are playing different roles. The camera use is smart in these music videos. It pans directly away from the sixth girl's face a lot of the time, mainly because the sixth girl is supposed to be either this mystery person or you, depending on the theory we're talking about, and there are two different theories of these music videos, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But a great example of this is in the side B music video, where there's a shot where they're in this parking lot and the camera lens is very fogged up and almost watery, like it was just rained on and someone tried to clean off the camera. It's very muddy, and the way that you can tell who the members are and you can make out their faces, but it's very obscure. This is done intentionally to detach the viewer from the members and make them feel almost farther away or more mysterious. Those were honestly just a few cinematography things that improve this music video, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. Instead, I want to talk about the storytelling and the theming of these music videos, because I don't want this video to be like 20 minutes long, but these are really, really interesting.
I got nothing to lose. 널 좋아한다고.
There are two different main theories that I see, and one of them is a lot like more plausible than the other one, but both of them hold a lot of weight. Now, the first one is the more commonly accepted storyline slash theory to what's going on in this music video pair, and that is the fact that there is these group of friends, right? The 5 members of NewJeans, you got the 6th member, or not the 6th member, excuse me, the 6th person or the 6th girl in this group, and they're friends, right? They're a close-knit friend circle. Now, what ends up happening to this group is that there ends up being an accident of some kind, some sort of car accident or what it may be. And the car accident involves a deer, which is something that we see in both side A and side B is this deer. Every person besides this 6th girl is killed in this accident, and the cast on the arm represents the weight she has to carry with her. Not only this, but we also see one of the girls of NewJeans write something along the lines of "stay alive" or "don't die" on her cast in Korean, which attributes to this theory quite a lot. And the reason we see this girl using a camcorder the whole time from her point of view to capture the members is that she uses the camcorder and goes to places that her and her friends were. She does this in order to cope with the feeling of survivor's guilt and the loss of her friends and the weight that has on her. This is why she constantly sees the deer, because she's constantly reminded of the event that took her friends from her. And if you're sitting there like, what the fuck? Yeah, I feel you. When I read that theory for the first time, I was like, that's fucking insane. But the thing is that it's 100% plausible with the context clues we're given in this music video. In fact, out of the two theories I'm going to present to you, this is arguably the most plausible one. This is the one that everyone seems to come to conclusion this is what probably happened. And that's fucking dark for a K-pop music video. That is dark for any sort of K-pop story. But it's really well pulled off because of the twist inside A. The twist is that the girls are never there. She's taking videos of nothing, just an empty space in a room. Why people are looking at her the whole time in these music videos really awkwardly is because she's not recording anyone in that classroom dancing. She's standing there silently by herself, and she uses this camcorder in order to cope with her survivor's guilt. And that is just really fucking sad. And that's such good storytelling just from the simple use of context clues thrown throughout the music video. And it all kind of is wrapped up in this really kind of sorrowful, melancholy bow with the VHS style of found footage film they use through this camcorder. It makes you feel personally connected to that 6th girl more than you normally would be, because you see a lot of the music video from her perspective. Now again, that is only one driving theory. That's not necessarily confirmed of what's happening, and that could easily be proven wrong in a future music video, but for right now, that is kind of the driving, leading story that's going on with the music video. But I also want to tell you the story or the theory that I kind of crammed together with the help of different people's inputs online. I saw a few people hint to this, but I didn't see them really put it all together, so I'm going to kind of theorize myself a little bit of what's going on. I think both the idols in NewJeans in this video and the 6th girl represent the dichotomy between the K-pop industry and how idols are presented and the audience. I think that the girls in this video, specifically the 5 members of NewJeans, represent the idols and how they interact with their audience, and how idols are kind of perpetuated as these friends that you don't actually have in real life. They're like these friends over screens, and they're supposed to be these very friendly faces. It's why idols are driven to be so perfect on screen, to be overtly nice, to not cuss, to act proper. While idols are musicians, they're artists, they are also supposed to be the viewer's friend in a way, right? This is why you watch all these funny moments on YouTube and you go and watch all these individual behind the scenes footage and independent content, because sometimes you know these idols and more personal information about them more than you maybe even know some of your friends in real life. This is what the group of 5 girls represents in this music video. They represent that almost imaginary friendship that you have with these idols. And the 6th girl represents you. Through the music video, we essentially see you hanging out with these quote-unquote friends that you've surrounded yourself with, the perfect friend group of perfectly friendly people who all form this really great relationship with each other. You run out in the rain together without an umbrella, which is just like, come on now, you don't want to get sick. You dance together, it's a great time, right? But these friends, they're not real. They're not there. Idols you can see on screen, but they're never in reach. They can never actually be your real friends in real life because of what they have to do, what they represent. Now, I think that this theory kind of explains the guy a little more in the music video, because there is this guy interest to this 6th girl or you in the music video. This guy is kind of played off as being as maybe a love interest of some kind, or maybe just a friendship interest that she always tends to catch kind of in the music video, right? Staring at her or whatever. And I think that this guy represents more or less a real tangible person that is near you. He represents the friend down the street, or the dorm room friend that lives in the dorm over for you in college. They are the person who's there in your life at that moment. They aren't some sort of idol that you see on a screen and want to form this perfect relationship and friendship with. They are someone who is there whenever you need them, or someone who you can come in contact with or meet. And the branching paths of the music video are kind of where this comes to fruition, right? At the end of side A, we see the girl run off into the rain with her friends at one point, and instead, at the end, we see her walk alone in the rain. And I think this represents her kind of choosing the K-pop idols as friends rather than the guy. But at the same time, this shows us this grim realization that these K-pop idols aren't really your friends or anything. They're just these figments of your imagination that you come up with to cope with maybe not having friends in real life, or maybe not having any personal close friends that you can rely on. Instead, in side B, we see this girl leave the other girls with her umbrella up, forming a wall between them and her, and she ends up walking home with this guy, this real tangible friend. And in that side, we see her choose that real friend over these kind of imaginary people. Essentially, while these K-pop idols are friendly faces to you, they aren't something that you can physically touch or be really friends with in real life, unless you're some sort of like super lucky individual, right? To the average person who sees these K-pop idols online, you were just kind of an average Joe, and you live around a bunch of real people who are next to you who can be there for you, instead of these idols who really just live on a screen. Now again, these are two wildly and vastly different theories, and I think more or less the theory that I scrounged together, and that I saw some other people kind of comment on that are similar to mine, is more of an overlying theme. It's not really the story that's being given. I think it's more of just the theme that's being diagnosed, or you can bring from this music video. I think the other storyline involving the unfortunate accident with the girls is more of the plausible, realistic one that's actually happening. I do think that in the music video, what is happening is the survivor's guilt, and when she walks home with the guy, it's finally her accepting the fact that she is moving past that survivor's guilt, that she is kind of leaving those friends, in a sense, kind of as memories in the past, and not letting them drag her down in any way. We see her at the end of side B digging through a box, and she pulls out VHS tapes, and obviously she's meant to seem at least somewhat older in these shots. She has her cast off, but she's also smiling in these shots, reliving these memories with these girls that she was friends with. And I think that shows the growth that she had to go through in the survivor's guilt to now feel comfortable and kind of just shake that off of her, essentially. I honestly think both of these theories or storylines are true in a sense. It kind of just comes up to whatever you want to see. Either way, Adore and Hybe crafted an absolutely magnificent, beautiful piece of art essentially as these music videos, which is not something I was expecting to say watching these the first time, right? Like, this is just a K-pop music video, a pre-release single for a B-side on their upcoming album. I wasn't expecting to watch a music video that had such a legitimately emotional, gripping, deep storyline, like a fucking really sad K-pop or K-drama storyline essentially. Ultimately, this music video comes down to having a group of friends that is there for you to cure your anxiety or to make or pick you up when you feel down. And I think that at one point, at least, you know, most of us can say that we've had a group of friends. I have a group of friends that I was actually just playing games with just an hour ago before recording this that I can rely on and lean on to make me a better person. But really sucks in life is those moments when you don't have those group of friends or those people that you can rely and lean on. You know, I have been in there at one point in high school when I struggled with my depersonalization and depression issues throughout my junior year of high school, where I was in a really, really dark place mentally. I didn't really have a group of friends at that point that I can reliably lean on, and that's why only a few people ever really knew about that mental situation that I was struggling with. Some people will never have that group of friends to rely on, and that's what's so sad about this music video and why a lot of people get emotional about it, is because, you know, to the people who are in those moments that can't seem to get out of them, or people that are in that situation where they don't have someone, it can be really rough. Ditto as a song and the music video is a good kind of sadness to me. I think that sadness is kind of seen as this very negative emotion, very negative stereotype connotation, right? But sadness can be a positive thing. It can be something that makes you feel ironically warm inside. This music video and this song is very nostalgic. It's very melancholy in the way it presents that nostalgia, because a lot of people can relate to what's happening in this music video. Whether you have lost someone previously in your life who was a friend like this to you as the storyline is seemingly presenting to itself, you know, that can be tough. It can be really rough, and I think a lot of people can relate to this music video in that way, and that's why I've seen a lot of people say that they've cried watching it, or the ending made them really sad or tear up, and yeah, I completely understand why. It's very depressing. And I think that's special in a way that a K-pop company and Hybe and a label like Adore can literally put so much effort into creating a music video like this that is so gripping and can touch so many people. I mean, a music video like this is something that should be flaunted and should be talked about because it's great storytelling. It's great storytelling through simplicity as well. It's not too overly done, and the fact that I can not only grab a storyline from this that's being presented, but also grab a theme as deep as the K-pop industry and how it interacts with its audience is really just telling to the strides and the quality that this music video, presented. It's December 20th, right? And I wasn't expecting to wake up yesterday and watch a music video that made me rethink the way I look at music videos going further in the future and how I, critique them. I love Arm's Wildflower. I love Ives Afterlife for different reasons. But Ditto for me is the MV plural of the year. It presents this really authentic, gripping, deep story, as well with some beautiful cinematography choices and a really melancholy, somber song to go along with it. It really hits you where you didn't realize you could be hit. You know what I mean? It hits you in that heart, in your chest, where you finish watching the music video and you don't know what you feel, but you feel something. And that's what I felt after watching it for the first time, which you can go see. I reacted to it on the channel. But I kind of after doing that, after taking that video, I kind of just sat back in my chair and I was just that was so oddly satisfying and sad at the same time. I could rant about this music video and the song for probably another hour, but I'm not going to save y'all some time. So yeah, Ditto, music video of the year for me. This is fucking fantastic. And if Oh My God, the album and that comeback is anywhere as good as this, NewJeans will not only be talked about as the monster rookie group right now, but they'll be being talked about as one of the best girl groups in K-pop, and I don't think anyone can contest me when saying that. They are on top of their game, and this music video is just gorgeous. It's fantastic. The storytelling is beautiful, and I'm absolutely in love with it.
I got nothing to lose. 널 좋아